How's it going, you guys? It's Scott with Everyday Home Repairs. Now I have 3 different types of shades I'm going to install here, and it's going to give me a perfect opportunity to help you avoid the most common mistakes that DIYers make when installing their own window treatments. Now, if you've been pricing out getting a professional to come in and install blinds, you know that the pricing is pretty insane compared to what you can buy the blinds or shades for. So let's go ahead and jump into it and help you save time and money on your own project. And if you need a little extra time to get your shades or blinds, they have these temporary ones. This is what I used on this house while we get our permanent solution in place. Super easy to use, and they have just a little adhesive strip that's going to hold them in place. So you just take your measurement on your width of your window opening. Mine's just under 33 inches, and then you transfer that on the 36-inch wide temporary paper shades, and then with some industrial scissors, you can just quickly trim those to width, and then take your strip off. And I would put this just on the window frame. This would reduce the chances of you pulling off the paint if you put it on drywall or on your wood trim. So just on the window frame is preferred. You can stretch that out, and it even comes with these clips to hold it out of the way if you want some light in while the temporary shades are up. So the number one mistake is getting the wrong size, and this can be super frustrating, so let's help you avoid it. When we talk about length, there's only so many common lengths. 72 inches, 64 inches, and 48 inches are going to be the most common. So just go ahead and measure your window opening. I have some pretty tall windows here, which are about 70 3/4 in length. So that means I'm going with the 72s. More commonly, a lot of you guys will be going for 64 inches in length. And then if you're in a kitchen or maybe a bathroom, 48 inches would probably fit your shorter windows. Now let's talk about width, and that is a little more complex, and it depends on how you're gonna mount your blinds or shades. So you need to determine, am I mounting inside my opening or inside my window frame? Here I have about 3 inches of wide open flat surface, so I can easily mount my blinds or shades. If you don't have that, if your window frame is all the way up to the edge and you don't even have 1 inch of flat surface, you're gonna have to go with an outside mount. And inside and outside mount are dramatically different in terms of the width you're gonna select. If you're doing inside mount, you will measure the width of your opening. Mine is right at 33 inches. And I do recommend you do multiple. Do top, middle, and bottom, and take your smallest measurement. But then you do want to remove 1/4 of an inch on each side or 1/2 of an inch to the total width of the blinds that you're selecting. So for 33-inch opening that I have here, I would select 32.5 inches. Do note, if you go into Home Depot, sometimes you'll see a blind and the packaging will say 33 inches by 72 inches. Technically, look closer. Sometimes that is 32.5. They already subtracted off that 1/2 of an inch and labeled it as 33, even though if you actually measure the width, it is 32.5. So just check the packaging closely and make sure you understand what is the actual width of the blinds you're selecting. And then if you're going with the outside mount, make sure you have a flat surface. Depending on your trim, that might be a little tricky. And then you'll measure your window opening again, mine is 33. Just do one of those measurements and then add 3 inches. That's gonna give you 1.5 inch overhang on each side, which is gonna give you more privacy. If you go right up to your opening, it's easy to see at an angle through there and you won't have the privacy you're looking for. So for mistake number 2, it is upgrading your screws. These are the 3 different brackets and associated screws and drywall anchors that they come with. Notoriously, the common screw that comes with it is a Phillips head that has super soft metal. So 1, it will not stay on your bit, so you'll be working overhead and it keeps popping off your bit. And 2, you will strip out that screw, so you won't be able to get it into wood and get a strong hold without stripping out your screw. And then that just turns into a super frustrating project. For the drywall anchor, you really only need it for outside mount. If you need a drywall anchor, I recommend the Easy Anchor. This one, you'll see links in the description for all of my recommendations. The Easy Anchor is a better drywall anchor if you need it. And then if you just need screws, I like these Spax. Why do I like these? They're just gonna be a superior screw, and it's gonna have a number 2 square drive that's just gonna hold onto that screw much better, so you can do one-hand operation to get that set up while you hold the bracket, and it's just a lot easier to work with. Alternatively, 1.25 inches is probably better, but here's number 8, 1 inch. They're kind of a small cabinet screw, so it's got a nice washer head which gives you a secure hold, and then that goes into a torque bit, specifically the T15. And again, it's just gonna hold on to that bit much, much better than your Phillips head and your standard screws. So I would definitely upgrade, especially if you're installing 5, 10, or more blinds. Invest in better screws, and it literally will make your project go twice as fast. And then the last tip when it comes to screws is I do recommend starting your screws before trying to mount the brackets. So this is going to give you an extra set of hands, get that started, back the screw out, and then once you have your holes, 1 per bracket or usually 2 per bracket, it makes it a lot easier getting those brackets secured. So number 3, it comes down to brackets. And if you don't know these few tips, it can be super frustrating part of the installation. Also frustrating is our ever increasing cost of home ownership in most parts of the United States. And one part of that we've been focused on lately is homeowners insurance. Through a link in the description, or if you're watching on your TV, you can just scan this QR code. You can submit what are you seeing, what premium are you paying, what liability coverage are you carrying, what deductible, and a few other questions. And then once you submit that information, we send you right back a custom report on your state, which includes averages from all the other viewers in your state that have already submitted. So you can be a more informed homeowner and know, do I have the right coverage? And maybe, can I get a better deal on my homeowner's insurance? Then if you need some help, we do have a nationwide network of independent insurance agents. And independent insurance agents, you guys recommended 2 to 1 compared to captive agents because they can go out and shop around multiple different insurance companies to try to give you the best coverage for the best price. And let us know down in the comments, what else do you want us to dive into to get smarter together in terms of lowering our cost of home ownership. But for now, let's go ahead and jump back into those few tips on your mounting brackets. So you need to figure out, where do you want this headrail? I want it to be flush with my wall surface. So to do that, I'm going to go ahead and mount my bracket here onto the rail. And this is my favorite type of mounting bracket. It has a spring-loaded front lip there, so it just makes it a lot easier to get your headrail attached to your mounting bracket compared to some of the other designs. And you'll see the links in the descriptions for these different blinds. This one is just the roller shade, and it has the best brackets by far. And then I use a small mini combo square here, which is going to give me a reference to my wall that I can continue to use, and then I do not need to take out my tape measure. Let me show you what I mean. So the way I do that is I just get everything lined up, and then I go ahead and mark where my mounting holes are. So this way I will have a mark on my combo that I can transfer onto my drywall. And then this will make sure that the brackets are not crooked, which then makes mounting your headrail pretty tough if everything isn't lined up. So let's go ahead and transfer these 2 measurements. So how this actually works in practice is I'll put that combo against the drywall. That's gonna be the front edge of our rail. I'll move it over to this side here, which then will offset that bracket where I want it. Then I'll take my pencil and reference the Sharpie marks I put on the combo. And now I'll have the 2 positions for the mounting screws to make sure the bracket is straight. And then I'll do it on the other side. And then we'll be confident in our positioning for our brackets without actually having to pull out our measuring tape. And then just like before, we'll go ahead and start off each of these screw holes. Now you can use the screw, or if you have a pilot bit, you can do that as well. Once you have those set, then we'll go ahead and position. It just makes setting your brackets so much easier and you're confident in their positioning. We'll secure that up, and especially these mounting brackets make mounting your rail super easy, and it goes right on without any issue. So hopefully those tips are going to help your install go super smooth. Let me know which one you would pick. We still haven't decided yet. This is the zebra shades. I kind of like these because it gives you the option to let some light in or roll them all the way up. This one is just a standard roller shade or a cellular shade. Or would you do something different? Let me know down in the comments. I know a lot of you have talked about the 2-inch faux wood blinds in the past. So if you want to see how to install 2.5-inch faux wood blinds, I have a video on that as well. Or just simple mini blinds, 1-inch mini blinds, you can check out this video right here. So thanks for joining me on this video, and we'll catch you on one of those next ones. Take care.